welcome back to the shed of basketball truth. It is Studio 3 for Ball Don't Lie Australia. Semi-finals week now here. And, of course, the Mitsubishi Motors NBL1 North. And it is that time. It is that time of the year where it's win or go home stuff. This week I've got Elizajane or Muffy Loadered joining from the CQ University, Rockhampton Cyclones, and I guess returning to the show that we've had on before, Dean Aspland, an assistant coach over there with the Seahawks. Of course, they've been we've had a couple of Seahawks, flying in and out of the studio this year. Fantastic to have them in, and I'm sure it will be again with Dino. Look, we're not going to spend too much time beating around the bush. We're going to get into it. We are going to thank, of course, Dr Electrician for their support, servicing all of Brisbane and North Adelaide with your electrical services. And do not forget about the support we get from local card shop of Woolloongabba with their Crackham segment. No Crackham this week, but it will be back we'll be back next week for more. And hey, if you need that Crackham itch, get down to the local card shop. Tell them Mal sent you, and Rob will sort you out with an amazing pack of cards, whatever it is you're after. He'll be able to sort you out. But look, let's get into it. We've got Muffy first, Muffy Loader, and then we'll have Dino, and we'll have some predictions on the show. We'll talk basketball journeys with Muffy, and then we'll wrap it up. Big thank you to both of them for joining. But let's get into it with Muffy first, then Dino. All right, ladies and gentlemen. She's been a DP for the Caps. She is, I believe, a finals MVP for the North's Bears once upon a time. And she's a Rocky Cyclone, but most importantly, she was a recommendation from Lara McSpadden. And when does Spads get anything wrong? I mean, come on. Elizajane, or as you may know, Muffy Loader, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Mal.
Not a drama at all. It is an absolute pleasure. Now, normally I jump straight in with the question, where did your basketball journey begin? But I have to just take a slight curveball. We'll get there, don't worry. But I have to ask about the Instagram page, a Vegemite toast. And it's its origins and, tell me about the Vegemite toast connoisseur.
Vegemite, it's a passion. It's a staple. It goes everywhere with me. And I just think there is an art to a piece of Vegemite toast. Around to different cafes, writing reviews about Vegemite toast, and it really took off, and that definitely should not have.
Well, you'll definitely have another follower now, because as a kid, I was a Promite kid, but I have now seen the light. I've seen the light. And
just no butter.
Controversial.
Yes, and I'm happy to have the
I think that might turn into an argument, so let's keep it rolling. Look, let's go back now to the question we normally start every interview with. Where did your basketball journey begin?
It was quite an unorthodox start. I was staying over at a friend's place, and she had to go to, I don't know if you remember back in the day, but like Oza Hoops training. Mm-hmm. And I went to it, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. And so then tried out for the local rep team at Central Coast, and wasn't very good, made the Div 3 team. And then just found a passion for the game. Worked my butt off, and since then just made Div 1, and then it slowly trickled on to making NITP, country tour, state teams, and yeah, just sort of kept going.
Nice. All right, 2018 rolls along. You end up being the Waratah champs with the North Spares.
Oh yeah.
Crucial question. Who would win, 2018 Bears or 2024 Rocky Cyclones?
Oh, okay. Is it 2018 Bears before Renee Garlic? Shout out Renee. Did her ACL?
Ooh, let's go with the most powerful version.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go Cyclones. But that's a close one. I'm calling OT.
Ooh, I like OT. That's a good call. Okay, honest, and also, you've chosen the team for you've got to suit up for on Saturday. So you haven't ruined any chances of making the court or anything silly. Or you should be a lock with Drew. I'm sure should be a lock. All righty. Now, DP for the Capitals in a championship year. Are there any lessons or really moments that you look back on throughout that season that really stick out and come up from time to time?
Oh, I look back on that experience so fondly. At the time, it was character building for me on and off the court. Getting to play with the calibre of players both nationally and internationally, like Kia Nurse and Kelsey Griffin, and just obviously everyone in our team were incredible. There's Opal's players on that team, and having obviously Gori as a coach, the culture that was bred in that team was just competitiveness, and everyone wanted each other to be successful, which led to your own personal success. And I think what I've learned from that, and on top of the skill development, obviously, is something that I've tried to take to every team I've been a part of.
Nice. Okay. Obviously, you were a part of last year's Rocky team, which came perilously close, and then was unfortunately swept. Hopefully that's not too soon to hear out loud. Technically it was, but, it's old wounds. I get it. You were almost at the top of the mountain. What has the CQ University, Rockhampton Cyclones, added this season to what's different this go round?
I think for us, it's obviously having Morgan is a massive difference for us. Just having that scorer that can light up so quickly from the 3-point line, but then also get on the ring. But I think just having an extra year of continuity, obviously getting Spads back, Low, Sam, Ty, the young ones, like it's such like a core knit group that we're just so comfortable playing with each other. And so I think everyone's just believing in themselves more. So with the addition of Morgan and Sid, it's just kind of ironing out those creases I guess we had last year.
All right. Now, obviously, this Saturday is the biggest game of the season thus far. None of the, can't worry about grand finals or anything like that ahead of time. You've got to get through Townsville first. Is there any? Obviously, last year, Coach Drew Fenton took home the Coach of the Year. This year, I mean, Townsville with James, they took it out. Is there any? Is Coach Drew, pushing you guys to really show who the Coach of the Year should be, or I assume there's no silliness and it's just everybody's up for the game?
I think with Drew, he's always been a very humble coach. So even, when we joke around saying Coach of the Year, he'd get quite shy about it. But I think for us, we want to show that he is the best coach in the league. And that's not taking anything away from the Townsville coach. We just firmly believe everything Drew does for our team, he does to bring out the best in each and every player. And it doesn't matter what your role is in the team, you feel valued. And I think outside of O's and X's, that's what makes him like such a great coach.
Yeah, and they're the best leaders, the ones who lead you into battle and you want to follow. So, but speaking of Townsville, and we don't do shade here, but what exactly are some of the strengths that you guys are going to need to really look out for that you see coming in with this Townsville team this weekend?
I think the amount of players, obviously, that they had nominated for the NBL1 awards shows the calibre of players. They've got players that have got ample experience, and players with playing beyond their years, performance-wise, like Saffron, Ella just recently signing to Canberra Cap. Shout out, Ella, love you. And Alex Fowler, Indy. Yeah, I mean, when you say it like that, like it just sounds like such a star-studded team, but I think we match up quite well against them. But our strength will just be playing something we will have to do is just play to our strengths, play our game, play the tempo we want to play at, and not let them dictate the terms. I think we did a great job of that in the first time we played them, and in the second game, it just wasn't us, and we took notice of that and accountability for that. So yeah, I think just moving forward, like just sticking to our game plan, but focusing on what we want to get out of the game.
All right, and I have to ask, playing in front of Bravos Arena every game is now. I've only been there for the one game against the Brisbane Capitals, and it was amazing. Saturday night, I call it the Coliseum of basketball. Is that just? Is it like that every night? And do you ever get used to it, or does it just bring that energy every time?
I don't think it's something you ever get used to, but it's something that you will just always be so grateful for. When chips are down, like the crowd just gets behind you, and it just takes one call for the ref or one stoppage in play for the crowd just to lose it, and you think, okay, we've got this, we can do this, and they are every single time our sixth player. They're just that extra person for us, and the community spirit, like I've never played for a team in anywhere, or I've never even seen it like anywhere else where I've played. So our community is top tier.
Special Coliseum of basketball for me. It's amazing. I've got the opportunity to commentate there, and I was in the booth, and yet loudest place ever. It was amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. I can see why they have a booth. It's needed. All right.
Absolutely.
Muffy, are you ready to play that game? Who's that teammate / member?
Yeah.
Oh, stretching up. Good. I like the energy. Gonna need it. All right, quick breakdown of the rules. Just giving you the heads up. Lara was pretty good when she came on and did this.
I put at everything. Tell me one thing.
No, sorry, got nothing. All right, so let me break down how this works. I'll give you 3 clues. The first one's fairly uncomfortable, fairly impossible-esque, and then from there they get easier. At each point you get one guess, or you can just you can hear all 3 before you give an answer. A pass mark here. Let's go with the worst we ever had was 50%. So, there is a mixture of easier and more difficult ones. We'll see how we go. But all right, let's just jump in. I'm sure everything will be okay. I've had no one cry on camera yet, so we'll see how we do. All right, who's that teammate? First clue. For example, practice one for yourself. I obviously talked about your shoes, and another clue that I gave was she's loadering up from 3.
Okay.
Yep. I did use that on the commentary, and I stand by it. I thought it was good. All right. Team member number 1. Teammate / team member, part of the crew. 2023 award winner. This player. 2023 award winner.
Yeah.
Clue number 2. It's a little bit wordy. Let me try and get it out though. There is a viral video going around of a dog chasing deer through a park in England. The dog's name and this teammate / member's name is the same. If you haven't seen that video, it's very difficult, but I'll send you the link afterwards.
Sam Bowman.
No. Last clue. Former Kilsyth Cobra.
Oh, Drew Fenton.
Very good. Yes, and if you haven't seen the video, it is a dog yelling, Fenton! Owner yelling Fenton, and the dog is, herds a flock or whatever it is you hear.
Agree that with the fact you said dog and then Bowman. That was good from you. Okay.
Well, it's, we do try and throw you off, but you got there in the end. So that one counts. That counts as one. You're good. 1 from 1. Hey. All right. Next one. We've got, tricky one. Dexcom G6 CGM ambassador. Like I said, it's going to be pretty much impossible, the first one. Next clue. A favorite meal, according to her dad, is lamb ragu.
Oh my
Favorite meal, according to her dad.
Okay.
All right. And if you wanted to have a crack now, burn one. Or I can give you the final clue.
No, you're going to have to give me the final clue.
Okay. C-bomb connection. C-bomb connection. Championship connection, I could say.
I'm thinking it's either got to be Lara or Morgan.
Ooh. Gonna need one, unfortunately.
God, and they're both good.
Gonna need one. Lamb ragu. Dexcom G6 CGM ambassador.
Oh, I just want it to be Lara. Please let it be Lara.
It is Lara. Yes, it is. And the Dexcom G6 CGM ambassador.
What is that?
So my one of my very good mates who I commentate the Capitals with, he is a diabetes nurse, and that he sent me this link that apparently this is the machine. She's the ambassador. This is how she treats her ongoing on-court diabetes with the Dexcom G6 CGM.
Named her machine Dex. I should have got that.
Oh, well, there was clues there, but you got there in the end. 2 from 2. You're good. Okay, here we go. Number three. First clue, salty. First clue, salty.
Oh, I really want it to be Sam Bowman, but yeah. Next clue.
According to NBL1, the NBL1 app, this player has more steals than turnovers. Steals than...
My girl, Lauren Hurd.
Very good. My last clue would have been, would be hard to have secrets around because Lauren always heard. So 3 from 3, you're on fire.
And she's got her finger on the pulse, that girl. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Well, hey, you're going for rarefied air here. A rarefied air. Oh, let's try that again. Rarefied air of 4 from 4. Can you have the perfect run? Let's see. Last one. Shots. First clue, shots.
Mm-hmm.
All right, second clue. NBL1 career high free throw percentage of 80.39% this season.
This season?
This season, again, according to the NBL1 app.
Oh, God. I'd be sending them to the free throw line, everybody. No, I need the third one.
All right. Tigers are in her past. Tigers are in her past. So we've got shots, NBL1 career high free throw percentage, and Tigers are in her past.
Oh, Morgan Yeager.
Morgan Yeager it is. Yes. Shots.
Yes.
Obviously, Morgan Yeager, and of course can shoot the three ball.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, is there I literally came up with that clue and worked backwards with everything else. So, yeah, I was proud of that. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. 4 from 4. 4 from 4. A little bit of thinking time. So on that fourth, I'll give you that, but no extra clues were needed. No silly business. So you're in the rarefied air, which I finally got there with saying 4 from 4. You're on fire. Absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Muffi, obviously best of luck for this weekend. You've got Townsville coming in. I'm sure they're coming into Bravos. They'll get a regular Bravos, welcome, which may not feel all that welcoming, but that's the entire point. But, look, best of luck with the game. Hopefully you fire away from 3, knock things down, and you guys come away with the W, unless, of course, my next guest is from Townsville, and then I'll have to say the same things. But, best of luck with the game this Saturday night. It'll be amazing, I'm sure. And, hey, it's if nothing else, you guys have had a hell of a season.
Oh, thank you so much. And, thank you for having me on the show. And, I think this is awesome what you're doing for NBL1. So thank you for giving visibility to players and just showing our personalities on and off the court.
No worries. And if you're out there, ladies and gentlemen, a Vegemite toast. Jump on Instagram, give it a follow. It's one of those great Insta pages that I'll be following as soon as this interview wraps up. I didn't want to go early and play my hand, let you know that I knew it. But thanks again, Muffy, for joining us, and you are now and forever will be a friend of the show.
Thank you.
All right, he's back. We've had his head coach on a couple of times in the meantime, but don't worry. Mr. Aspland, Dino, the tragic Blues fan, is back himself, even with his scarf in the background. Loving it. Mate, welcome back to the show.
Mate, I'm here in a new format, and it's great. We've stepped into the technology age. Mate, it's good to be here. It's good to see you again.
You too. Look, let's get into it. We've obviously got a big week of basketball up here in the NBL1 North. Let's jump in. Now, obviously, we've recently had another NBL1 awards evening. And, of course, there's the seemingly ageless debate, which I'm not going to, get into. We've done it before, but I am going to ask some questions just around Michaela Roof, not around is she your MVP? I'm sure she is. I saw your Instagram post around that, but what I want to ask is more what people don't see. Obviously, if you're going to the games or you're tuning in every week, you see, what's coming through the camera, that kind of stuff. But you get an inside look into training sessions. So, what do you see from Michaela week in, week out in the huddles? What are those things that she does that you are amazing that the world doesn't necessarily always see?
Yeah, it's a great question, Mal. I think I have a unique perspective after coaching against her for a number of years and then joining the coaching staff where she's playing. It's it really gives you a unique perspective because you do see all the things that make her great in the box score and as a player on game day. But I guess the unique perspective that I now have is that I really have an appreciation for how hard she works. She's the oldest player in our team and is one of the hardest, if not the hardest worker at every training, during film session, her own individual training and shooting and that kind of stuff. The unique perspective is that she's a real professional. And for girls, we have a really young team. And for girls who are kind of wanting to go down that path and to be a professional basketball player, she's a fantastic role model. So MVPs aside and all that chat aside, she is quite easily one of the best players that I've coached, if not the best. So the leading on court, the mentoring of girls, that's a big thing that goes unnoticed. And unless you were in the trenches with her at training, you wouldn't know that. The taking the young girls aside and educating them in, different situational things and little tips and tricks on how to hone their craft. These things that obviously they don't get taken into people's minds when they think about what makes a player really valuable. And, our success is it's been really good this year. And, to come to a whole new club outside of one that was already successful and, show those girls how to win and help them win and, go to war every week with them. It's stuff that, unless you see it with your own eyes, you don't have an appreciation for it at all.
Yeah, she's special. And in case you missed it, stat lines alone, 27 rebounds, I'll start there, 26 points, 8 assists, no steals and no blocks. I mean, there's an area for improvement. But
we're always looking to grow. We're always looking to grow.
Exactly. So, but just in case you missed it, because wowzers, monster, absolutely monster. Look, and that kind of, it does kind of lead into my first question of obviously you guys got through the quarterfinal against Spartans.
Yeah, we did.
And that stat line is, probably a big part of the answer coming for this question, but what were the keys to the quarterfinal, especially after, in round 10, not that long ago, you guys lost on the home court there in Runaway Bay to the Spartans?
Yeah, I mean, obviously individual performances are there. Mila was fantastic as well, and Roof. Pros like that go to another gear when it comes to finals time. There's a number of seasons within a season, and once it gets to finals, it's a brand new start. So players like that, they play on the big stage and they love that moment and they really embrace it. And I think one of the big things that we talked about going into the game was that when we played them at home, we were up and we were in a position to win, but it got to a point where we couldn't score. And because we're young and because we're inexperienced and still learning and still working out how to play together, we didn't know how to get ourselves out of that. Once things started sliding, we didn't know how to get ourselves out of that. So we spent a lot of time putting in situational work, and we spent a lot of time talking about how we're going to grow as a group and how we're going to mature as a group in case we were put in those positions again. And the week before against Gold Coast in the last round, where we put in one of the worst first halves that I think we'd had all year, but, a testament to the group. They came out in the second half. So the last game and a half of our season have been our most mature performances of the year, this is what you want coming into finals and playing in finals. You want your team to have grown and to have learned from their experiences. And I think they really did that. And, Mila and Michaela played a really big part in that, leading the group and pushing the group. But our group doesn't get it done on two people alone. Grace Champion, she was excellent. She's been great all year. Magella Carey, who is like a ball of energy, who is constantly just trying to get better and work harder. Shaylee Ward, who those last game and a half have probably been her two best performances of the year in terms of her maturity and how she ran the team and the way she played defense on on a couple of really good guards in a row, that really set us up for success. And the fact that all of our players, even the bench players when they came in, it really set us up to kind of get where we needed to go. And in terms of the Spartans game, we scouted and we worked really, really hard. Caddy and Rob and I, we got in the lab and we worked really hard on what our game plan was going to be and what defensively what we were going to do. And Spartans is a really hard place to go and play. It's really, really loud and the crowd get right into it, and there's some bloke banging a drum the whole time, and their sound system didn't work for half of it, so it was a bit of a delayed start, and they had to run down to Carindale and buy another speaker. So it's just like all these things, it was just kind of one thing after the other. But our girls, to their credit, they stayed focused, they stayed locked in, and I'll give you a sound bite. I told them before the game that there's not many better pleasures in life than beating Spartans on their home floor. So it was, it was a really good win. It was very impressive from all of them. I couldn't be more proud of how they played.
All right. And yes, I think that is a sentiment that's very much shared by people who've been through Capitals at any stage. Strong local rivalry there.
Yeah,
all right. Now, Wizards ahead. They've been the dominant team throughout the regular season. Dwight Hicks has put together another really solid team and another really solid regular season. Obviously, Kelsey McDermott, going down with that ACL injury at the end of the season, it's going to be a loss, but you can't go into these games, focusing on who's not going to be there because, as you say, people find a different gear. Obviously, we don't push you to throw shade, but what things do you need to look out for with this not unstoppable, but very potent Wizards team?
They are a potent team, and it's a real credit, it must be said, to Dwight and the Wizards because, they lost the MVP from last year and a couple of other pieces, and they've brought in a bunch of new pieces, and they've been possibly even better in terms of the way they're playing and the way they're putting it all together. So that's a massive credit to them. And even though they had that one loss, they're a really formidable team. And once again, we're going into a pretty hostile place to play. It gets really loud there. It's the only game in town on Saturday night because even the Broncos finish at 3:00. So there's not, it's the men's games are away. The other women's game is away. It's the only show in town. So
make sure you jump on and get your ticket. I've already secured mine. Obviously, yours is fine.
It's the only reason I keep coaching. I get to
some of the best seats in the house, mate.
Tickets, yeah. But no, I've had a few people from other associations reach out, and we've tried to arrange them some tickets. So it is going to be a very pro Wizards crowd there, and they do seat a lot. So if you want to jump on the bandwagon with the good guys, then we'll appreciate any support that we've got there. But look, they're super talented, and they've got some great players. I listened to the episode you did with Erin last week or the week before, whenever it was, and all the things she said are things that we know around the league, and we respect all the players on their team. We're working really hard. We've got to get in the lab and try and work out something that works. And I don't think it's about necessarily throwing anything groundbreaking or tricky at them. It's just making them feel a little uncomfortable in what they're comfortable doing, as cliche as that sounds, and trying to throw some different looks at them here and there. But, we couldn't play much worse than we played last time we played them. So we're on the second leg of a doubleheader. We just lost to Spartans, as I said before, the night before when we played them last time, after, being up against Spartans and giving up a 24-5 run or something in the fourth quarter. So we're a little bit demoralised, but there were times where we played really free in that game. We just didn't put it together for 4 quarters. So there were times where we played really well that we're trying to hone in on, and it's not necessarily about the stuff that Wizards do. It's more about our own stuff and making sure that we're following our rules and we're getting the things that we want to happen. It's a really long-winded answer, but hopefully that answers.
No, mate, you're all good. And like I said, they're a very potent team that have put together a hell of a season. And obviously, they're being noticed around the league for obviously the winning, the W's, but also the style of play that they've put together as well. Mate, I know you mentioned some of those other games, and I know you've always got strong opinions on things. So if you got some time, let's have a look around the league, because there's only 4 games this weekend.
Let's do it.
Rocky versus Townsville in Bravos Arena on Saturday night. I talked about it, obviously, with Muffy a little bit earlier. It's going to be possibly a rather uncomfortable place for anyone in a Townsville uniform to be, but that's the way Rocky like to. It's a coliseum. They share their opinions wildly about pretty much everything that's going on in front of them. So Townsville are very much. It's not going to be a game where they can come and not be ready.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I'll put myself on the record. I love Rockhampton. I love going there. I love the trash that they talk. I love how feral they get up there. It's as a person who doesn't shy away from controversy or pushing people's buttons, I love going there. What you got to do there when you go to play there is embrace it, and you just got to go with it. If it's in your personality, you give it back to them, and you just play as hard as you can, because you know that crowd is going to push them harder and make them even better, which is something to say, because they're a very, very good team, very, very well coached. But it should be a really good game. I think they match up pretty well across the board. Rocky Townsville probably a little bit deeper, but you never know what's going to happen. If Ella has another game like she had against Southwest, it's going to make it really, really hard. But Rocky got some real studs as well there, and they're all really nice too. They're just really nice, well coached. Both teams well coached, nice girls, really professional, really play really hard, and it's great. It'll be a really good game.
It certainly will be. All right. In the men's, look, I'll throw in a prediction.
Let me guess. The Cats are going to win.
I was going to say for Rocky Townsville, but
right, you're trying to predict. Yeah. So, what do you reckon for Rocky Townsville?
Look, give me Rocky. I think hometown. Coliseum of basketball, tricky place to go. You've got to be in that right mindset to really get after it there. But as you said, 2 very solid teams, both well coached. Just got a feeling it's going to be Rocky. And as always, that feeling is grain of salt. Take it with, because it often comes up a little bit short.
But we appreciate. We heard that you picked us last week. We appreciated that you both picked us. We listen. Everybody hears what's going on. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes I get them right, sometimes I get them wrong, but sometimes you get a feeling in your waters and you go with it and you record it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't age well, but that Seahawks pick definitely did. So.
Yeah. One of your best, I reckon.
Of course. Come on. All right, let's jump over into the men's. Let's start with Mackay versus Spartans. Up in Mackay, can Isaac White and Blanchy and can those boys get it done with the Tyrell Harrison and Jared Bairstow, who's returning to the Bullets, and Nordo and who you got, mate? Who do you think?
I think Mackay, purely because it's in Mackay. If it was down here, potentially I'd go with Southern Districts. But 2 teams that are full of talent and full of confidence as well. Both teams play really confidently. To even have a young fella like Mason Honeyman playing as well as he's playing, he's a very confident young man. I actually taught him at Villanova, so pretty interested in that one. I probably should be going with them, but just due to the fact that it's in Mackay, again, comfortable at home. You get to sleep in your own bed the night before. You get go through your home game routine, and they'll be out in force in Mackay to support that.
For sure.
But I'll have to say Mackay purely because it's in Mackay. That's the only advantage I see that's there.
Okay. Look, I'm going to take Mackay. I think Joel Carlu and his plethora of assistant coaches in Mackay is literally 4 deep in Mackay. Look, honestly, I think Mackay's had a great season. I've been very positive on them since the jump of the season. I think they're nice and deep. They play really well at home. They feed off their crowd well. I just think they're just that bit deeper, and they're going in with the week off, which can be, flip a coin whether it works for your team or not. But I think it helps. I believe they have everybody back. So, look, give me Mackay in that one. Salties versus Caps, though, on the road in Darwin, in the crock pit. What do you think, mate? What do you think?
Brisbane, as I said to you, I popped in after our game for the second half of the men's Caps game last week, and they were giving Rocky the business. So obviously they're playing with a hell of a lot of confidence. They're playing well together. However, Darwin is a really, really tough road trip. And I don't know who books the flights, but they'll probably be on a really crappy schedule. I don't know. Darwin at home, it's going to be, going to be really loud. It's going to, be pretty feral. They got some great players, up and down real fast. We saw them at Brisbane. I jumped in the booth with you for a little bit at Brisbane and saw them playing. I can't remember who won that game in the end, but
Caps did that one.
Yeah, so the Caps have got the wood on the season, but again, Darwin, that was on the back of maybe a triple header or a double header, but yeah, tough to play, tough to go to Darwin on that trip, on that short turnaround, particularly if they go red eye into red eye. I'll take Darwin again just because it's a really hard place to go and play.
All right. As this should be no shock, but I am going to go with
Darwin
Capitals. I know. And not just for the pure, commentated them all season, but because I've seen them very much build over the season. The way they, I'm going to say, dispatched Rocky in that game.
Fair.
It certainly wasn't on show with this team earlier in the season. There was moments earlier in the season, and even through some of those wins, they would let teams back into games. Against Rocky, they really didn't do that. They were super strong. They held him out, and it also obviously Gabe Hadley stepped up huge and just knocked him down from everywhere in that game as well. Yeah. But it very much feels like that with the Caps. Even if Sam McDaniel isn't, completely lighting it up, because obviously he's going to be on your scout and, they're going to have things set up in place to try and deal with him. Someone else is stepping up, whether it be an Izzy, whether it be a Gabe, whether it's, Matty Johns having a good game inside, or Cam Few having a good game inside. But Darwin Salties, they're going to be tough, obviously. Sean McDonald, for me, obviously, I've talked about it on the show before. I feel as if he's very much that glue guy for Darwin. They look very different before he arrived than after. He holds them together. They're going to have Kawatnoi back. What Kawat are we going to get? Are we going to get MVP style Kawat, or are we going to get the Kawat who is, came to Auchenflower, who is, we had the argument here on the show. Was he contained by the Capitals, or was it an off game? Either way, he didn't perform to the level he's, capable of. If he does show up and play, they're huge. Malawatch, I can guarantee there'll be a Malawatch dunk in there that everyone will be, that'll be a highlight reel, at least one. Big Nate, is he going to play? Yes, he's towards the end of his, career and stuff, but he is a massive human. You put him in the key, you got to get around him, do something do something about him if he's got the ball in his hands at the other end as well.
Yeah,
So no, so he's difficult. Then off the bench you've got Vel playing well. Debba can step up. Can do this for days, but look, I'm going to ride the Caps wave. I feel as if they've been they had a slow start. They've really got together as a team. They've come together really well. Give me the Caps, even though they're on the road, but this Salties team is going to be tricky to beat in Darwin.
Are you going?
No. I'm staying behind. I will be at, I'm coming to see you guys at Wizards Seahawks.
And you got your ticket. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
So I'll be there for that one. But, mate, if you've got a little bit of extra time, you know how we do. We've got a little bit of who's that teammate / team member. I mean, when we had I may have gone a little bit over the top with the Holy Trinity of basketball, but with Caddy, Ruthie, and of course Mila Goodchild. Yeah. But look, they were pretty spot on this. It was split 2-2 between Michaela and Ruth, and Caddy. Well, she had a participation award. Obviously, you're not going up against anyone tonight, but. I'll give you the quick breakdown. 3 clues. You can have 3 guesses, 1 at each point. They start off super hard, cryptic-ish, and then get a little bit easier. I can only give you 1 clue at each guess, but I will repeat clues if we get to the end. You're like, ooh, if you're umming and ahhing, but I can't give extra clues. Are you ready for the game show that's taking the NBL1 North by storm?
Why not? Let's give it a
go. Positive enough. Let's do this. Okay. Player number 1.
Yeah.
First clue. Heat.
Right. So
Heat.
Townsville person.
All right. Next clue.
Yeah.
Former capital. Former capital.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And last clue. Former champion at NBL1 and WNBL. So we've got Heat.
Yeah.
Former capital.
Yeah.
Former champ at WNBL, NBL1.
I'm just trying to think who's on our team. Is it Magella?
It is not Magella.
Okay.
It is, in fact, Michaela Roof. Let me explain.
Roof, yep. And I completely forgot about Roof. Sorry.
Heat, Fire and Flames. Of course, she's re-signed this week with the 1-year deal. Former capital, Canberra Capitals, and former champ, obviously, of both with Thunder and Fire. Yeah. All right.
That's the easiest one I got. I wasn't even thinking of it. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, you didn't win this one either. Sorry, Michaela.
Okay. Player 2, off to a cracking start. Okay. Yeah. You and Mitch really tussling here. You're on par with each other when he came on. So, all right, player 2. Concerny.
Yeah.
Clue number 2. You have coached and coached against this player. Coached and coached against.
So obviously I coach now,
Yep. Yep. And last clue, DP 2023. DP.
Oh, is this Magella?
This is Magella.
Yeah. Yes. Go Dean.
All right. If you put care into thesaurus.com, the first word that comes up is concern. Slap an E on there. Concerny. Yep.
Very good.
And then obviously you coached against her last year and coaching her this year. She played it for the Heat last year. And yeah, DP. All right. Hey, one from two. All right, that's a pass thus
Man,
far.
I'm shooting 50%.
All right. Player 3. Here we go. Jersey 14 for Australia. Jersey number 14 for Australia.
Yeah.
Clue number 2.
Thunder, Aaliyah Hansen.
Oh, you nailed it. You got it. You got it. Oh, I missed out on my last clue, which you are the perfect age for.
Yeah.
It was bop.
Yes, right.
Yes. Yes, you are old enough to get that reference. I know because we are a very similar age.
You're older though, right?
I was born in 85.
Well, I'm 84. Right, yeah, good. I knew I was older. Yeah, well, sorry, Ruth, for that first one. I would have got 3 out of 3 if I remembered that you're on our team. Sorry, Dol.
Look, hey, and also there's still one more to go. Player number 4, last one. Here we go. 3. That's the clue. Yeah. 3. Clue number 2. Pioneering spirit.
Yep.
Pioneering spirit. And clue number 3. Goat elbow.
Goat elbow.
Goat elbow.
Pioneering
Goat
spirit.
elbow. Goat elbow nose, if it helps.
Oh, Mila.
Had to be spoon-fed, but we got there in the end. All right.
Pioneers, right. Okay, I got it.
Yep. Pioneer. Yeah, see, it's a fun game for those playing at home.
Yeah. Good. Anyway, good for me. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, yep, with, I'll give you 2.8. 2.8.
That's all right. I didn't even need that. I'll get the full one because I didn't even need the third clue or the last one.
Oh, you had it cooked? Had it sorted? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Mate, thank you very much for joining. It's always a pleasure having you on. Best of luck with, of course, the game on Saturday night. Seahawks taking on Wizards. Tough place to go and win, but that's you don't get to choose who you play. You just got to step up and bring it. And look, best of luck with it. Hopefully, the Seahawks girls can get it done.
Mate, Tats, the furthest that they've ever gone in the postseason for Seahawks as a club. So regardless of what happens, as we've said to the girls, it's been such a wild ride. It's been so fun. They've been part of history for the club, and we're really building something special down there. And Caddy's done such a fantastic job in her first year. So regardless of what happens, yes, we're competitive animals. We want to win, but regardless of what happens, it's been a real wild ride. So. Get along, cheer along, everybody, and come down and say hi, regardless of the result.
And if you can't, of course, it will be this week's KO game of the week here in the NBL1 North. But, mate, thanks again for joining. I'm sure you could get some extensions in. Mate, thanks again for joining. It's always a pleasure having you on. But that is going to wrap us up here. If you are listening on podcast service allows 5-star reviews, go and do that. That stuff really does help. Likes, shares, comments, all that kind of stuff. You know the drill. We're in the age of technology, right, Dino? Come on. People have got this.
Mate, it's an absolute joy to be here. It's so good.
All right. But until you're listening to us again or watching, just remember that ball don't lie.
It never does. Go Hawkins!